Apologies, folks. The intro to this stream probably has me looking a bit goofy for a second there, swigging my water and peeling my eyes around here in the area, but let's just get into it. So, hi folks, welcome back. As always, I'm Fritz, and we'll be doing some more historic Brawl. Specifically, we're going to be doing Raddic, Tal Zealot. Raddic is a 4/4 for 2 colorless, a white and a black, with hexproof from white, hexproof from black, and the most important part of the card in many ways, whenever one or more knights you control attack, draft a card from Raddic, Tal Zealot's spellbook. So I want to go over the spellbook quickly, just because I think I said as much in my review video or review stream of the new commanders for Alchemy. This is a fantastic spellbook. Let's just go over these cards. I'm just going to go around real quick. So first up, Midnight Reaper. 3/2 for 3 that draws you cards. Pretty good. Guardian of Faith. This is kind of one of the meh ones. Doesn't do as much. Just phases stuff out. Knight of the Ebon Legion. 1-drop card that can function as a bomb when it scales up. Has one of the best pump abilities available in Arena. Cavalier of Dawn. Non-land permanent removal. Fantastic card. Valen Elish Marshal. Kind of a meh pick. Cavalier of Night. Targeted creature removal and Weenie Reanimation in one package along with lifelink on a 4/5 body. Fantastic card. Murderous Rider. I don't think I need to say anything about this card, but I will anyway. It is a 2/3 body with lifelink strapped to a murder spell. There's a reason this was one of the most played cards when it first was printed. Great card. Order of Midnight. Reanimation in a 2/2 flyer. Acclaimed Contender. Draws you another card in addition to being played. In Knight Tribal. Great card. Dauntless Bodyguard. Protection removal. It's perfectly fine. Valiant Knight. Other knights you control get +1/+1. It's a Knight Lord. That's fine. Smitten Swordmaster. You gain X life. Each opponent loses X life for X number of knights you control. And a 2/1 for 2. Blacklands Paragon. Basically a combat trick on a 3/1 body. History of Benalia. A pump spell and 2 4/4s on a 3-drop. Circle of Loyalty. +1/+1 for everything you control, costs less for knights that you control, and can create tokens. So, of the 3 cards in here, 3 of these 15 cards can function as targeted removal. The remaining of all of them is not too shabby by any means. And each time this effect triggers, you're going to get to pick from 3 of them. Overall, Raddic is a fantastic card, in my opinion. He has one of the most powerful spellbooks, potentially followed maybe by Tomb of the Infinite for actual immediate utility, or Key of the I'm not remembering what Key is. So I've built out this list as what amounts to effectively just Knight Tribal. There is a very small amount of targeted removal in it, and you'll probably notice that for somebody who complains a lot, says you have to run board wipes, you might look at this list and notice that there are no board wipes. You're correct. There are no board wipes in this list. I do not think this list as I'm presenting it today is the most powerful list that you can build with Raddic. There might be a more changeling oriented. You'll see that we have a fair number of those with things like Universal Automaton and also just general support and things like Maskwood Nexus in this. And also we get lucky in the fact that we're in black market connections. It makes changelings. They're knights. It's already in our favor. As a result, we end up with a very aggro-heavy list that I've put together here. There's probably a much better Raddic list. I encourage you to go look for it, or at a bare minimum, use this as a starting point, and then cut a ridiculous number of the cards I've placed in here, because I'm sure that you can replace them with hard removal and build something that's more consistent. That said, I very much like playing this list, so it's the list that we are going to be using for today. Let's jump into some games. I do think Raddic might have the single best creature spellbook, the single best spellbook. He has the 3rd best spellbook of any alchemy card. He has the best repeatable spellbook after Tome of the Infinite. 3rd best after, first is Key to the Archives, which is kind of an iffy one because Key to the Archives has some really big bombs. But the fact that it has Time Warp when it basically makes Key to the Archives always number 1. Followed by Tome of the Infinite, which is just a lot of utility in there, followed by Raddic. We are playing into Muldrotha, the Graveyard Reanimator. We have 2 drops, 3 drops, hard removal. and a Mishra's Bauble. I will keep. And we got a 1-drop on turn 1. Yep, Vanillish. Alright, let's toss out the Mishra's Bauble. So I'm sure people are going, wait, so you didn't run any board wipes, but you ran Mishra's Bauble. What's with that? Okay, so honest answer / explanation. Also, the Bauble just paid for itself in showing me that they're going to have Meathook Massacre ready on turn 3. They will probably grab... I'm going to give them... I'm going to give them Smitten Swordmaster, actually. Just because if I play it, it'll just get removed. If they remove it, I'll just get it back. But yeah, Meathook Massacre, a very good counter to this deck, especially since we're going to be going incredibly heavy on the aggro. Literally no reason to not just go on the offensive. I'm surprised they didn't chump block that, though. And that's why they didn't chump. No, they still could have just chump blocked and gotten the same effect without losing 2 life. I'm confused, but not my problem. Let's get 1 more white mana. We have that and prep for next turn. Which means Meathook probably won't be coming out until turn... Are they holding for counter spells? They could be holding for counter spells. Nope, Forceful Cultivator. That means they're out of land. Which means -2 is the heaviest they have on a removal. Let's toss out Raddic real quick. We'll do quite a few... I'll try to do a fair number of games on this. I'm of mixed opinion on this list. Okay, so it's... I get it. Okay. It's probably not going to be a game I win, just because I think they're running General Reanimator. Let's do Faceless to get some more cards. So if I wanted to win this, what should I be doing? Definitely not blocking. Letting them replay the target removal is a bad idea. Oh well. Not great. What do they go fetch? They've got most of the tempo right now. Muldrotha will likely come out next turn. I don't know what they're going to get. They could opt to get a land, and then they'd have effectively a board wipe and Muldrotha in pocket, which would be quite good. I'm actually kind of okay with this being how this finds out. They'll have to give Baron both ways. They take 2. We'll probably see Muldrotha played this turn, or we'll see Meathook Massacre come out, but I'm expecting Muldrotha. The reason I was expecting Muldrotha is that Muldrotha on the surface is a good enough body to block both of those threats without compromising on having to give up a second control feature. Let's do this. This means they can't just use the Plague Crafter to... Yep. They'll chump block with the Plague Crafter on Lena to minimize incoming damage and play Muldrotha next turn, followed by the rest of their options, right? And they'll play hard removal on Lena this turn. Yeah. Can I do Crippling Fear? One second. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. Yeah, actually I can. So the hope here is that they're going to finally take this as a chance to play Muldrotha, as opposed to going for hard removal. If they play Muldrotha, we hit it with the Murderous Rider. Nah, I can't really afford to do that. The downside is that that got them Maelstrom Pulse. I have 5 in the air. Start targeting all impermanent and all the permanents with the same name as that permanent. They'll probably hit Champions of Tier. I don't have protection for it. Frustrating. Let's do flying. I think that'll provide the most to make them really anxious about what they're going to do next. Relative to anything else. And let's do... I'll still have one more white source, but no more black sources. Don't love playing... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are their 2-drops available? Acquisitions Expert? I'm gonna push. Especially because I can sack Lena to protect Black Lance and Triumphant if they try to board wipe. I do kind of like their, this is an interesting Muldrotha list. I haven't seen a lot of these cards used in Muldrotha before. Spicy choice. Less spicy and very frustrating. Get rid of both mine. And if I hard remove... I think that's game, probably in my opponent's favor. All they need to do is kill 2 of mine, and they can do that by playing Muldrotha into 1 or 2 pieces of removal. They don't even need to, they can just do Muldrotha into each opponent's sacks, and then Muldrotha into assassins. That's game. Ah, that's unfortunate. Closer than I thought it would be, though, based off how that started. But yeah, they do Muldrotha, they do Flesh Bag, or they can just hit for lethal. Honestly, it's pretty much the same. and they can go to combat, or they can do assassins. Because of how aggro this list is, I'm actually running a different pool of land than I normally would. It's a lot less hit both colors dependent. We still have, of course, mana, confluence, command tower, all that stuff. But we aren't running any of the dual hits that enter tapped. They're at most conditional dual hits that enter tapped, so that we can use some of the more powerful cards, and we can always hit stuff on 1, 2, 3, 4. Oscar, Knight of Light's Dawn, Adeline. We have the cards to play it, and we have the 4 drops. I'll keep. Oh, so this is actually special. I'm actually kind of curious to see this. So, Sliver Hivelord is one of the brand new commanders that we saw in the Historic Anthology 2. But we haven't seen... I've never seen it actually played as a commander yet. I was dreading playing into it. And let's be clear. If Sliver... I want to make a clear statement here. If Sliver Hivelord comes out in this matchup, I lose. If I don't have flyers or a way to get over or wide on Sliver Hivelord, I will lose. This deck has very little removal, and it will be incredibly punished by that card. Also, Striking Sliver is going to be a very valuable card for them in this matchup. Always enters taps, already enters tapped. I don't care about you. Let's do you. Congratulations, I have promoted your Yavimaya Coast into a... It's now just a perfectly normal dually. There's no point in going in with Adeline. Steadfast Paladin might be decent. Without 2 black, I'm going to be in trouble here in a moment. I have 2 turns, after which all of their stuff cannot die. They'll block the Borskar. Oh, that was actually kind of foolish on my part. We'll probably see Yavima. If they pull the second land, we'll see them pull Yavima this turn. But it's important to note that because we already saw all of their other lands, we know that Yavima is likely the only other land in their hand. Alright, let's take advantage of our commander and pull out Raddic. It's highly unlikely that we will see them commit to an aggressive block on Adeline. I really need more cards here. Let's get the Midnight Reaper. So our best bet, if this goes any farther, is to go wide. Without that, or if they just lucked into a land of the color they need. What do they need still? Blue-black. Would any single color do it? They've got a white source. They've got a black source. They've got a green source. They've got a blue source. They've got a red source. White, blue, blue, red. Yep, I think they're pretty much good. The first strike instead of double strike. Let's go to combat first. I want to get... Knight is probably the correct choice. Actually, Banalish Marshal might have been a good choice just because it isn't as heavily impacted. Let's play the Snarl. Let's play Icon. Pump Knights. And the good thing is we will have... If they don't top deck land, there's a chance here. If they do top deck land, we're pretty hosed. because then only going wide remains as an option. Or going above. Okay, they aren't getting their lands, which is good for us, and it also means that we can pull off a quick bluff here. Do I have enough to do this? Yes, I do. And let's go get some more spellbooks cards. History. Based on how they choose to block this, we're going to use Murderous Rider to remove certain targets. If they overcommit to something aggressive, then we will get Striking Sliver. If they undercommit to Chump, we'll get Cleaving. So the choice here is now going to be Cleaving Sliver. No, they're being very clever. Won't save them, though. Gate to the Afterlife is pay 2, get God Pharaoh's Gift. And now their blockers are no longer in kill range, which means even with first strike, they're going to die. Downside, they're probably digging for lands. If they found lands, they're still in a strong position to take control. Though we have a lot of board state. One indestructible 5/5 feels like it shouldn't be enough to flip the game. They threw away Growth Spiral. In theory, History of Balania combined with just general aggression should be enough for us to take this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. So that's a win over Sliver Hivelord, making my record against it 100% win rate. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna step away for one brief moment, and I'll be right back. Will just be 2 seconds. Thanks. Can you hear me now? Oh, I'm so disappointed. Oh, I've just been muted for like... I had to step away to go to the bathroom. This is just going to be... I'm so full of disappointment. There's just going to be 10 minutes of, like, no audio on this stream. Well, I can't post this to Reddit. That is... incredibly depressing. Oh, no, that's called your streamer's a moron. I am so sorry. That is just demoralizing in the extreme. Let's Dauntless Bodyguard Knight of Dawn's Light. Okay. And now I've kind of lost the thread. What was I talking about? It had something to do with magic. I know that. That part's kind of implied. Do I want to sack the Dauntless just to protect the Knight? I can pump the Knight 1, I can pump the Knight 2. I can make them very sad by playing Black Paragon instead. Sacking the Knight, and then getting Plaza. And then... wait, crud. I'm a little out of it. I didn't need to sack the Dauntless to do that. I could have just done... I don't have any more 2-drops, so let's just play Acclaimed Contender and go grab another card. Sure, I'll take it. It's the only option available. Okay, so anyway, before this... Sorry, so I'd muted the in-game volume because I was talking about, like, my next miniature project is basically going to be, does Paradox Engine belong banned in Brawl? To which my current answer is actually no. That's my personal answer. Is there an argument for Paradox Engine to be banned in Historic Brawl? Yes. But it's not that Paradox Engine is overpowered. Not yet. It's actually that Paradox Engine creates uninteractive and long play loops that do not work well in the Magic the Gathering Arena client. So it's not even a power level question. It's a Arena has certain technological constraints question by dint of being a thing. Anyway, oh, that grinds my gears. Thanks for stopping by, though. Thanks for helping me fix the audio. That is embarrassing. You'd think after, like, 7 months I'd have got this figured out. How's your day been, by the way, Chris? Been up to anything cool? Anything exciting? Ooh, it's Jadar. We got Mutavault. We got Shadow Shrine. We got some 1-drops. We got some 2-drops. I will keep, actually. 1, 2, and 3. Do we have any first strikes? We don't. My 2 Knight of Dusk's shadow this, though. Opponent's on the play. I think there's an argument, actually, that could be made here that turn 1 Mutavault might have been the right choice for playing aggro. But I think this is going to be a battle cruiser game, so let's do Borskar. Give me a good chance to look at their hand. Ooh, Massacre Girl on 3 is going to be a problem, but let's make that Swamp Enter tapped. So are we going to see Jadar? Yes, we are. Okay. Let's see if they chump this. I don't think they will, but I was correct. I can play a 2-drop and Forsworn. I think that's probably a better choice. Is to start prepping to go wide. Though I can't overcommit because if I do, Massacre Girl is going to become a problem. I think they were expecting to be able to do Plague Crafter. Instead, we'll probably see the Vivisector, and we'll see Plague Crafter next turn. I wonder if I'm going to block your card that I don't want to block. The answer is no. Gonna have to keep going in though. I would be kind of surprised if they choose to chump here. I feel like they can just take the damage and tank it out, but they don't actually necessarily have any lands either, do they? Okay, so they probably saw land on top of their deck, which means this next card is probably a land. Are we going to see Plague Crafter, or are we going to see something else? Bontus, they're setting up for the Plague Crafter. So there's nothing that actually says I have to play aggressively into them. If I do Black Lance now, I'll have 2/3/1s into. That's perfect. All right. I'm probably going to want more black later. I don't want to go into combat with them. I just want to keep up pressure. Now, if they're smart, they'll chump here, right? I should have tapped Mutavault to go in. Yeah. Let's think. 1, 2, 3, that will chain up. I could have still done that ability. Let's see if Massacre Girl comes out this turn. I think it's the right choice for them, but it probably feels kind of bad. Feels like they're probably in kind of a weird position. If they do... Yeah, that's what I figured. That's also kind of what I figured. But that was also why I was holding back most of my stuff. Oh, they got Reclamation. That should probably go into this deck as well, honestly. Knight of Dusk's Shadow. Arvad, Weather Light Smuggler. One more land would do a lot for me right here. Actually being able to play Raddic and do things on turn. I would like that. That'd be cool. Still not too bothered yet. If they play the Plague Crafter, then they'll actually have me pretty locked down. And I'll probably have to do Icon of Ancestry to try to recover. That's not good. So now we're in a bit of a deadlock. Except they can just pay life and get all their cards back, and I can't. It was at this exact moment that the streamer realized that his commander is hexproof to black, and he should just played Ral Zarek. but he's a twit. Oh, that's not good. Though, to be fair, I respect my opponent more for playing it. I really like people who actually play cards that are designed to handle certain targeted situations. Tainted Remedy is my favorite, hey, white decks, go fuck yourself card. And now we're unmonetizable. That's okay. Life is broken sacrifices. Now you get to see why Mutavault's in the deck. We're gonna have to get rid of Phyrexian Reclamation, I think, but even that might not be enough. It's too late. I just lost 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's good. Not if my opponent aggressively overcommits to bombs, though. They can still do it. Yeah, it's still game. That said, before I lose, no, I'm still just gonna lose. That's 7. I respect this person. I'm curious to see how, because I know this is being printed in the next set, and I'm pretty sure it's being printed at only the rarity. Let me see real quick. Phyrexian Obliterator? Yeah. Phyrexia all will be 1. Oh, it's still being printed at the mythic rarity. People are pre-selling at $30 a pop. Cripes. It's one of those cards that I've looked at and I'm like, this would be fun to have, but despite as much as I have like my horde of mythic rares, I prefer to spend my rares on lands that will end up going into lots of different decks, and I prefer to spend my mythic rares on commanders, right? So I can make more commander decks. I'm going to mull this likely. We're playing into Slowgark. Slowgark. Yeah, I'm not getting that. I like... Yes, I like this much better. We've got a 1-drop, technically a 2-drop. It's time for Knight of the Even Legion. We're gonna have their command out on turn 2, though. I don't like that. Yeah. Alright, Arcane Signet. Universal Automaton. I'm curious to see if we start seeing some really weird tribal decks at some point. I was reading through the Magic the Gathering subreddit earlier, and somebody was talking about horses tribal, and that seemed wonky. I'd like to see that. I love weird stuff. Weird stuff is peak Magic. Well, a reason to hit with more than 1. Let's do Midnight Reaper. We got Mutavault next turn. We got Edaline. Acclaimed or Midnight should probably pop next. Whoa, what are you? As long as you in your graveyard and you control an island. That's a cool card. I like that. I've not seen that before. I can only play 1 more card this turn. So let's go to combat first. And let's get Murderous Rider. So we'll probably see 0 blocks. do this. See how it's going to work out. Pretty sure that returns everything at the end. 1 and 2. Both of those are non-lands. That's good for me. I'm set up to take an easy 6. But it looks like they don't want to trade. I'm fine with that, because they also probably don't want to let me do this. They don't really get a choice in the matter. And everything they're left with is 2/2s. They're probably not going to... Oh, they are. One second, I need to consider my options with my incredible brain. Which is to say, I'm still going to go face with everything. It's not going to instantly die. Cavalier of Night. I think the one downside to this deck, and again, for anybody who was watching earlier this week, somebody was... So I was... Okay, this was the other thing I was going to talk about. I have a pet crackpot theory, right? I want to be clear that this is a crackpot theory, because I have a lot of things that I will say about this game that are, like, true-ish, but this one's not. This one's literally just a crackpot theory. Choose a creature type, creatures that aren't a pet type. Anyway, my pet crackpot theory is that there is some form of matchmaking in Historic Brawl based off your deck composition. So if you include more board wipes, you match up against people with board wipes. If you don't include board wipes, you don't include that. Crackpot theory, there is no evidence of this. Wizards has never stated anything in this favor. I have no idea if any other people who make Magic the Gathering content think this, or if I'm just a crazy loon. But if this was true, I feel like this Raddic deck is a, in many cases, decent example of this occurring. Except for the part, you know, earlier in the stream where I played into a Rusko deck, and they played Sublime Epiphany into me. Or not Sublime Epiphany, they played the 6-drop blue spell that goes into every blue deck. I don't remember what it's called. Card games on bikes. Not card games on motorcycles? Was that option taken? Also don't love how my opponent is getting to play everything first. Yeah. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that that was an actual thing they said. I've always assumed that was just me being a nut job. I did not mean to mulligan that opening hand. That was a perfectly good opening hand, and this one is worse. But, anyway, this deck is mostly creatures. There's like 4 instants or sorceries in it. It has none of the mass removal that white decks should have. It has none of the mass removals that black decks should have. Interesting. So what I'm hearing is that every time I'm matched to a Paradox Engine deck, it's a crime, and Wizards of the Coast should compensate me. Compensation Doko. So they don't have any more 1-drop elves. Does it make sense to try to give Freylaze a poke? To stop the Regal from coming out? Probably. If it fails, I take out their Mana Dork. If it passes... But they can't be sitting on Fog. What's a 1-drop? They can be sitting on a fight spell? I should have kept my opening hand. This one's much worse. And I should have, you know, mulliganed a second time after the opening hand. What's the keybind to tap all cards you control? Is it like Z? It's not double Z. Is it X? Oh goody, it's Marwyn. I don't like Marwyn. Anyway, what I was going to say, the whole point of this whole minor tangent is that I don't think this is the ideal Rusko deck, or Raddic deck, because it doesn't have those spells. So even if on stream it looks like it's performing well, that's not necessarily a good indicator that it's actually a good deck, because it's probably playing into a slightly different pool of cards. That said, the deck, you know, does have 40 lands in it, and I feel like it should have a 4th land that it draws. Drawing a 4th land would be cool. As it is, it looks like I'm about to just get cheerfully stomped into the ground by Elf Tribal. I had a game off stream earlier against Elf Tribal where I just waffled and completely, like, I didn't forget that Craterhoof Behemoth exists. I was just like, what are the odds that they top deck Craterhoof Behemoth or a way to get Craterhoof Behemoth? Sure, they have the board state for it, but they would need to draw the card, right? What are the odds that that actually occurs? Anyway, next turn they top decked Craterhoof Behemoth, and I lost. Yes! I know, right? It's like, elf decks are 99% Crater... Like, Schrodinger's Craterhoof Behemoth. It's not there until you leave your board state with a whole bunch of non-blockers and no way to do hard target removal. It's so bad. It doesn't feel like it should happen. It's just so bad. But I did that. I lost. I felt real stupid. Tale as old as time. Oh my god. Where are my lands? Whenever I consider including the Stone Brain, Craterhoof Behemoth is one of those cards where it's like, I will get into games and I'll be like, man, I really wish I had Stone Brain for Craterhoof Behemoth. But then I won't include Stone Brain, or if I do include Stone Brain, I'll be like, yeah, it's an Elf Tribal matchup. What card am I supposed to remove? I saw that. I was actually chatting about some people with that on the Discord servers earlier. The thing is, I actually think it's almost more fair. Oh my god. There's a moral here, but I don't know what it is. Literally speak of the devil. That's actually kind of hilarious. Okay, so 1 second. So let's finish up this Craterhoof Behemoth rant real quick. I want to pull the card up on stream for anybody who might not have seen it. And then I guess because I'm a good person, I'll be like, this is spoilers for the new Magic the Gathering set. If you do not want lore spoilers, mechanically and lore spoilers for the new Magic the Gathering set, which is Phyrexia All Will Be One, turn off the stream for the next 5 minutes. I feel like that's adequate adequate spoiler warning. So now I'm just going to set up to do this real quick. Again, there are going to be spoilers because I'm going to show a card from the new set. It's already been revealed through spoilers, so also it's like, don't be too excited, because but this is your last chance. Spoilers. If you still see it after this point, it's not my fault. Okay, so let's talk about Phyrexia Nessa and why I'm actually less bothered by this than I am. So I think this card is cool, don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to making decks with it. So we've got 3 colorless, a green, and 2 Phyrexian mana. Now, the thing that I actually missed on this when I read this card for the first time is if you look at it, you'll see that it's completed, which means that those Phyrexian mana, like most Phyrexian mana, you can pay them with either a green mana or with 2 life. But this next line is the one that I missed, and it's the important one. For each green mana paid with life, this Planeswalker enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters. So if you cast this for its 5 mana cost, it only enters with 3 loyalty counters. Yes, it's a pocket Craterhoof Behemoth. Yes, that's very good. But it's a pocket Craterhoof Behemoth on turn 8. And if somebody chooses to use it as their commander against me, I know it's coming, because they put it in as their commander. The downside to Craterhoof Behemoth in elf decks is you're never 100% sure if it's there. You're like... I'm like... Like, it's an elf deck, it's elf tribal... Are they running the 1 green bomb that will win them the game off having a full board? Oh, they just played it. That's the Craterhoof Behemoth experience. And at least part of the reason that's frustrating is because there's a non-zero portion of time where you're like, do I actually need to be afraid of them building board state? The answer is always yes. They always play Craterhoof Behemoth. But anyway, the reason I'm not as scared of this card is because it actively telegraphs that it is going to come out and it is going to do Craterhoof Behemoth things. Anyway, that's my take on the new Nissa. How long has this stream been going? I just gotta pull up this live streaming guide real quick. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's do another one. Just over an hour. Okay, we'll do 1 or 2 more games. We'll do 2 more games because I think at least 2 games I might have been muted for with a volume issue. Oh, that makes me so unhappy. I know I'm not like the greatest. Oh my god, it's Rusko again. Whatever. I'm just gonna view this as punishment for getting to unmute. I don't view myself as like the graded. That's true. It is another hoof enabler. I guess I'm just not as aggravated by it yet because I haven't been on the receiving end of it. And like the fair thing about Craterhoof Behemoth, right, is that if you're in blue or another color that's like really scared of big board state, you can counterspell it. There are options to deal with Craterhoof Behemoth, right? Like I think that's why it's never like annoyed me as much as certain other cards have. It's definitely like aggravated me. I don't like losing. Oh my god, is this innovative and interesting? Oh, never mind, they're playing Fading Hope and they're 99. There's a good half a second there where I respected them as a person, and that half a second has passed. I'm gonna do white. I need more white. I was about to be like, is this innovative Rusko mill? Like, no. No, it's just more Rusko. I got rid of my command tower. Bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum. Alright, Wizards, here's something I'd like you to learn. Stop printing cards that, like, if just played in... Alright, let's go get Raddic. I should have played Arcane Signet first. I am a moron. Is there any reason to not enlist? Not that I can think of. Let's go get Murderous Rider. Honestly, Murderous Rider or Cavalier of Night wouldn't have made a huge difference, but... The Rusko Musco fiasco. Dude. I don't even think that Rusko is broken. Rusko's just very good. And I am personally tired of playing against him in a good 75% of matches. I could have Crippling Feared my way out of that. Wait, this is a Rusko player who's not playing hard removal? I changed my mind. I respect you again. You're welcome to return to polite society. Let's go get Cavalier of Night. Honestly, even if they chump, I'm going to just let them do it. Rusko's issue right now is that they're not fairly queued against like top tier decks like they should be. They're not queued against stuff like Teferi and Kinnan. That's where they belong. And once they're back where they belong, it'll probably be fine. It's just they're not. And as a result, right now, if you choose to play against anything that isn't that, you suffer. Can I do anything to tap you down? Can't. But I can just go grab another copy of Murderous Rider. Murder your Knight of the Ebon Legion before you can declare it as a blocker. Okay. I have the mana. I'm just going to pay to do that. Another glorious win for Knight Tribal over the card that is single-handedly just ruining's a harsh word. Ravaging, demolishing, shredding up and down the line. Rusko might be the single one of the most scouring. I like scouring. Scouring's a good one. Thank you, channel moderator. Oh, it's Ivy. I've talked about this before. Rusko probably has a bad matchup into Ivy. I've covered this before, but let's talk about how you beat Ivy Mystical Spell Thief, because it's a very simple. It's a two-step plan. In step 1, your opponent plays Ivy. In step 2, you immediately remove Ivy. This is the entire plan. There is no other step. Do literally nothing else. Just immediately remove Ivy every time it's played. And that's how you beat Ivy. If you do anything stupid, like not immediately removing Ivy, well, then you're hosed. Don't do that. If your opponent does anything clever, like... I want to see one thing. That is one blue. Yep, okay. Let's get Murderous Rider. If your opponent does anything clever, like playing Ivy and holding mana open for counterspells to keep Ivy from dying, you're also screwed. But the good news is in 90% of these situations, your opponent will play Ivy on turn 2. At which point, it doesn't matter what you do because your opponent is a moron. Let's go get Knight of the Legion. Let's play you as a 2-drop. I can also show you another fun trick in just half a second. Except, yes, I will be able to do it. Ivy's kind of like, not Muldrotha, but Nethroi, and any of the other Ivy, weirdly enough, has basically ended up a mutate commander. Which is to say, if you remove your opponent's board state and prevent them from being able to effectively interact with Ivy, then you will win the game. Please note, as I attempt to remove my opponent's board state. It's all part of my great plan called How I'm Going to Deal with This Annoying Card. I'm actually going to take the risk of losing mana here. I'll Great Circle. That's a little bit suboptimal, but... Let's do Knight of the Ebon Legion because I can pump it. And it comes in as a 3/4. I think my opponent is dead drawing, unfortunately for them. So if they have a 5-drop bomb, what do they have at 5? Whelming Wave, something tears. There are board wipes, but if they were dead drawing, that means they just pulled the 4-drop. And there's no 5-drops, I believe, at removal. Which means they're planning to play Protectorate. Well, at least that land enters tapped. Still have 2, 3, 4s to my... I don't think this gets them out of the situation yet. I think it gets them a bunch more land, which is good, but... They need, like, one more turn. Oh, it kind of does. Well, they have to chump block everything, right? Let's just get another Murderous Rider, because Murderous Rider's bullshit. I guess while we're at it... Now, let's see how they block. I want them to chump and force to be in a protectorate situation. And it's called... Oops. You could copy this. Copy the Murderous. Come on, do it. You won't. Oh, I just missed lethal. No, I didn't. They missed me missing the lethal. And that's what we call game. I had a game recently against Ivy that was almost really funny because I copied their Ivy and I was like, all right, whenever you play cards that copy your non-Ivy cards, I'll copy them as well. But then they just removed Ivy. Or they removed my copy of Ivy and it's like, aw, now I'm sad. I'm sad and I'm filled with loathing. All right, let's aim to do one more win today and then I think we'll call this stream. I remember what my other rant was about. It was about the most powerful spellbooks in Alchemy cards in Arena. Okay. And we're playing into... It's Omnath. I don't like playing into Omnath. I want more aggro cards. This is much better. Okay. I think Raddic might have the third most powerful spellbook of any card in Arena. 1 and 2 go to Key to the Archives and Tome of the Infinite. Tome of the Infinite is probably the best one. Less based on the power of the spellbook and more based on the fact that you can just keep using Tome of the Infinite over and over again. Really hoping my opponent doesn't have a blue land here. Don't play a blue, don't play a blue, don't play a blue. It's going to be a tropical island, isn't it? That's the sound of no counter spells. Is it the sound of shock, though? Or lightning bolt? That's looking like a shock. We're about to see a shock, isn't it? Nope, it's a braid. The poor man's shock. So here's the thing. I don't even think that it's all rares. I like him, but it's... So we've got card draw, dodge, one of the best little mini dudes, non-land permanent removal, pump, creature removal at instant speed, creature recovery, card draw, protection, general good, general little combat spell, flashable, general value, and just a good artifact, right? I think the fact that he's got like 3 removal spells in his pool is actually what makes him good. That's my personal opinion. You're welcome to disagree with me on that. But I think it's that he offers a lot of like utility in addition to just being good, right? Slimefoot was already very good. Let's do this. And let's go get another planes. Yeah. But that's the thing that makes him different, right? It's not just that it's removal. It's that he has a lot of removal. Any card that conjures cards is gonna be good. Giving you more cards is good, right? But I don't think there's any other card that gives you as much. Oh, that's very disturbing for them. They are definitely chasing. I think my opponent dead draw. They did. Did I have fun? Yes, I did. I won. I have a great time when my opponent doesn't draw the 3rd color of mana that they need to actually cast any of their cards. Oh, did I actually hit 80? What's the cap? I didn't even notice hitting the cap on Mastery Pass. Okay, so let's put some orbs in while I talk about this theory. Is there an auto suggest button? I'm gonna turn the audio off for this. If that's, I apologize. That's just gonna be too much for me. I'm gonna take the headphones off. Okay. Getting more cards is almost always good, right? That's why Conjure is really good as a mechanic. Slimefoot is my, like, sort of personal favorite example of this, and that Slimefoot just, you can play Slimefoot even though it's black green, it can do decently into control lists if you can get Slimefoot out fast enough, because Slimefoot's going to be generating you so many cards that if blue decks that are relatively slow spend time counterspelling the cards that Slimefoot gives you, you play your bombs, and if they don't counterspell and deal with those cards, you chip them down with it, right? Raddic not only has a reasonable and powerful trigger condition, making him sort of similar to Slimefoot, but some of the cards he gives you are just fantastic, right? Some of them are like 4 or 5 creatures, which is cool, with removal bolted onto them, right? It's fantastic. It's just incredible. And then to like top it all off, he's got hexproof to blue and white, which have some of the best single target removal spells in the game. Like, the easiest way to get Raddic out of play is if you don't counterspell him, you either have to burn him or you have to wipe the board. Those are really your only 2 options. Sure, blue can put him back in hand and counterspell him again, but that means blue just spent 2 cards for 1. But if you're white, it's like, well, Raddic's out. He's got hexproof. I can't hit him. If you're black, it's like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do now? And also, because his condition triggers whenever Knights attacks, as long as there's non-Raddic Knights that you can put out, you can just keep chaining their triggers together. You can be like, I'll attack with this Knight, play another Knight. Attack with this Knight, play another Knight. You just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. And the whole time that you're doing that, not only is your opponent playing cards from Raddic, which are, you know, all fairly reasonable, all fairly good, they're also drawing more cards and getting more bombs. Anyway, that's my 5-second Raddic rant. With that said, though, I think this is where I'm going to stop the stream. Time to do the general scheme of things. First off, if you're watching and if you like my stuff, please subscribe. Please feel free to give the stream a like the videos. It makes the algorithm notice them more, which makes me get more of the dopamine. I'm not sure what the other decks for this week will be just yet, to be honest. I haven't started on them too much. Wednesday will probably be some more pinball. It's supposed to represent a crusade, so that Infinite Night Generation is 100% flavor. Ooh, I like that. But yeah, as always, if you watched, thanks for watching. I stream here with new decks on Monday and Friday, usually at 7 p.m. That may change in the future. I may switch to a morning stream because I need to go to the gym, and that means I need to claw out space to do that. But the Monday and Friday schedule will probably remain the same. As always, if you like my stuff, please subscribe. We're very close to 100 subscribers. That would be actually really cool, honestly. I didn't even think that was possible when I started this like 7 or 8 months ago. And if you don't like my stuff, or you've got things I think I could do better on, please let me know in the comments. I am always looking to improve. But that's going to be all for today. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.